So let's move on to step 4 at the thermostat. So step number 4 at the thermostat. We're talking about the 3 C's: confidence, competence, and what's the last one?
Control.
Okay? This is where people typically, as a technician, lose control. They might have had somebody else out there, haven't they? They might already know it's a motor or it's a low on refrigerant, and they want you to go straight back where?
Outside.
Let's go look at that unit, right? Let's go back, check. What do you think's wrong with it? Or I already know what's wrong with it. How much is it going to cost? And you're sitting there looking down the throat of an air handler trying to figure out, how do I get out of this place? That's a problem. So again, we don't tell Mrs. Jones when she says, hey, come on back to the air handler, and starts walking that way. She wouldn't even say air handler. Come on back, let me show you what's going on. We don't say, no, I'm not going to do that. We validate, Mrs. Jones, I promise you we're going to get looking at what's taken care of today. Make sure that whatever's broken, we get it fixed. But first, let's probably start at the thermostat. It's a great place to start as any. We'll just see what's going on at your thermostat that controls your system and allows us to redirect. So we don't say no, we say yes, but let me take control and re-get you back to the thermostat. Why do we get Mrs. Jones back to the thermostat as opposed to her looking at a system? That's what she knows, isn't it? She doesn't know that air handler. She doesn't know what a SEER rating is or an AFUE. She doesn't have any concept of that. You even ask her what type of system you have, she'll say in Honeywell, or she'll say a Nest. I don't know. Her world is that thermostat. So we want to get her back into her world, and we ask her a simple question, Mrs. Jones, how do you use this? When you're using it, how do you use it? Where do you put the settings? And we can see by her engaging that thermostat, what are we learning from her in doing what she does?
How she uses the equipment.
How she uses it, ways she might be using it inefficiently, ineffectively, ways she might not even understand. She's like, I don't even know. I just kind of set it here, and then my husband turns it down to here, and then I set it to here. We're learning behavioral patterns as to how that system is being used that can give us insight as to why we're having problems today. Now, second, what it does is it takes us off of what's just broken today and allows us to ask questions about the other 4 components of the big 5. That's the comfort, the efficiency, the reliability, and the safety. And so this is probably one of the hardest skills that a good technician needs to focus on. When it comes down to finding out things about comfort, about safety, about efficiency, what is the only way you're going to be able to determine those in talking with the customer? Would it be asking questions?
Yeah, you gotta ask questions.
You have to ask questions. And what's important is to understand how to ask leading and logical questions that build on each other, that allow the customer, Mrs. Jones, to tell you not only what's broken about her system as a whole, what she would like more to have working in her system better, but also how much more she would really like you to work with it. So let's just see, you're sitting there and you ask a simple question like this, Mrs. Jones, does anybody else in the home suffer from allergies?
It's kind of like selling. No, I don't like to sell.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about selling and then understanding the concept of selling. At the end of the day, selling is trying to push my agenda to somebody else, as opposed to educate people on the agenda or educate them on the things that are important to them, allowing them to choose. So when you go to a buffet, would you say that the person at the buffet is forcing everybody to take the chicken and stay away from the ribs? No. You give them a full buffet of what's valuable to them, and they'll take 2 ribs and 3 chicken wings. It's their call. But it's our issue if we don't have a good buffet. So what a good buffet means is, rather than just saying, hey, the only reason you're coming to me is because I got chicken legs, we say, listen, we've got chicken legs, we've got ribs, we've got steak, we've got eggs, we've even got pancakes if you want them. At the end of the day, it's about what you want. And we create an option for you to invest into what you want. But now how we do that is this. Let's just say if anybody in the home, Mrs. Jones, does anybody in the home suffer from allergies? This is the first simple question we ask the thermostat. And she might say no, or she might say, what does that have to do with anything? Well, there we can start to say, Mrs. Jones, this home was built pretty recently. One of the good things about homes is that they're energy efficient. One of the bad things is they're like a tomb. It keeps all these VOCs and stuff inside. If anybody suffers in the home, we could possibly look at ways that they might be able to have some systems put in here to benefit them. She says, well, yeah, my daughter Susie, she actually deals with asthma on a consistent basis every spring, sometimes in the fall. Now we can stop there at that question, right? And we think, oh, we've got a shoe in. We just need to sell her a UV light. Bad news. That's not the right way to do it. That's not what we want to do. We don't want to sell people. What needs to happen with leading and logical questions is she says, yeah, Susie, she deals with asthma twice a year. Sometimes it's really bad in the spring. What I begin to do at that point is just ask questions out of concern, out of education. So, wow, that's really tough. I'm so sorry to hear that. What does that look like for you? She responds, well, that typically means 2 to 3 doctor's visits, sometimes shots and an inhaler every single spring. You could even ask questions at that point. Oh my gosh, wow, that really probably adds up. What type of cost are you looking at wrapped up into doctor's visits, shots, inhalers? And in their mind, they start to say, man, 2 or 3 grand. Just within a year to fix Susie. And that's just dollars. If you then ask more emotional questions, Mrs. Jones, if we had something that could really benefit Susie so that she's not facing those asthmatic problems and save you money at the same time on doctor's bills, etc., how important is it to you that I bring that up to you as an option today while we're looking at your home? I can't promise anything. But if I do, how much would that be valuable for you for us to look at while we're here today? I don't sell anything. And at this point, I don't even bring up, well, we've got this Remy air purifier, or I've got this great, I don't sell anything at this point. I just want to find out if there is a need or a want and how important that need or that want is. Because right now, we know that if they're spending a couple of $1,000s a year on health issues, and it's also an emotional turmoil in their home when their daughter Susie goes to the hospital, we are filling a desire of their hearts to make their daughter feel more comfortable at a place that probably could save them money when it's all said and done with. That if we don't go through this process well, in effect, what we're doing is we're disallowing them to choose that I want the ribs. No, we're not even going to put the chicken legs out there. We're going to make you have pancakes. That's not what we're about. Because people hate just paying for what's broken. But when you go through a process that allows them to isolate, man, I need to dive down. It's extremely important today that we figure out hot or cold spots. It's extremely important today that those energy swings don't stay in my house. I really, really want a Wi-Fi thermostat. I think it's extremely important that in the summer, my summer utility bill doesn't go to $500. If we ask 3 to 4 to 5 leading and logical questions, then what we do is we're allowing the education the customer gives us to provide solutions for them that allow them to get off of being just hung up on the low fix and excited about the higher ticket, higher value solution for their whole home comfort, efficiency, reliability, and safety that they're investing into. This is extremely important.
Doesn't that take a lot of time? I don't have that kind of time normally.
Okay, so let's talk about time. One of the most important things is about time. If we're talking about going through this process just right now, is this already taking more time than typically jump in, 17-minute fixed, jump out, I got you taken care of, Mrs. Jones, I'm on my way? Yeah.
It's going to be a little more time.
It's going to be a lot more time possibly. Let me ask you this. If you as technicians have the option of slowing down, of focusing just on the customer in front of you and don't have this schedule of 14 more customers today I got to get to, but I can just take care of the customer in front of me and know that not only by taking care of them, I'm not just fixing what's broken and they're frustrated with the cost, but I'm allowing them to invest into what they want and they're excited about the price, and at the exact same time they're investing into a Wi-Fi thermostat, a UV filter, an Advantage plan. You as a technician are getting compensated more as well for doing a good job of presenting them those options. The customer wins, you win, and at the end of the day, your company wins. And without those 3 different people winning, this cannot survive. Mm-hmm. If just 2 of those win, if just the company wins and the technician wins, but the customer doesn't win, it's over with. Same with the customer and the business, or even with the customer and the technician. All 3 have to win for us to be able to replicate this and create an opportunity for every single one of us to not only get what we want, but to allow others that we reach get what they want through doing business with us. Extremely important at the thermostat that we don't just blow through this. We stop. We allow them to educate us on the things that are painful, frustrating, or confounding about their system. Last key important point on this, we do not sell at this point. We don't throw, oh, I got a Wi-Fi thermostat. In fact, what you do, just stop. We need to allow that pain to sit and them to wonder when we disappear, It really intrigues me that he brought up a possible solution for Joanna's asthma. I wonder what he's going to come back with. That tumbling over in their mind of a possible solution is what allows them to really, really value what you bring when it's all said and done with. And now again, a good point was brought up as to why are we spending time with the customer in a duration that seemingly is uncomfortable for us? Well, that is a good question. Why? It gets back to that enchanting concept. As goofy as that sounds, how are we going to be able to engage a customer on a level that they like us, they trust us, they engage us, they listen to us, and they're enchanted by us, for lack of a better term, if we're in 2 minutes and out in 5? It's not going to happen. The only way that they're going to value us as a person and us coming back to them is by us taking time with them. So I want you to have one really important key concept here. Think about this. You have the option of technicians of building your own empire, your own business, basically, under the covering of another business. You don't have to cover federal taxes, you don't have to cover workman's comp, you don't have to cover advertising costs or anything. All you have to do is if you can go and build a relationship to such an extent that that Advantage Plan customer wants you back out, you've got your own empire of business that you create under the umbrella of costs covered by the franchisee who's running that business for you, covering all the costs. That's not going to happen if all you are is in and out in a number. That's only going to happen is if you come in, engage that person like you would want to be engaged, listen, connect, get to know. And in that getting to know, they value you over and above AirServe. Extremely important to understand. I'm not AirServe to them. Your owner, your CSR even, is not necessarily AirServe to them. You, as the technicians, are AirServe. Their only experience of AirServe basically is you. Allow you to be the reason they come back and do business. Allow your relationship to be why they stick with your company for the life of their time in that home. Extremely important concepts.